Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. In this video, I'll be in Luminar Neo, and I want to talk about something that was effectively a fairly small, a pretty minor change in Luminar about 6 months ago. It was beginning of this year, and it wasn't a big deal. I made a video about it at the time, but I really liked this change, and despite the fact that it's pretty minor, it's had an outsized impact on my editing and my workflow. I want to talk about it in this video, and in light of the new UI updates that you may have received in the last week or so, it's even more important to me now. So I'm going to talk about that. You're familiar with the UI changes, how you can bounce around between your folders and your catalog and bounce back to the photos, and how all your editing tools and edits and history and all that are kind of stacked over here on the right. It just makes the overall editing process more fluid, more dynamic, easier to get to things, quicker, more efficient. And that's really what I'm talking about in this video, because the feature I'm talking about is sitting right here in front of us, and it's in this favorites category. Now, you've been able to add favorites to Luminar for, I don't know, a couple of years, maybe more, but the ability to rearrange them happened about 6 months ago. And that's what I'm talking about, because it's such a minor thing that has such a huge impact. And that's because you're effectively now able to create a custom workspace for yourself. And I love that, because I, for a long time, have been approaching my editing around 3 core ideas, which is editing light, and then detail, and then color, effectively in that order. And this allows me to put the tools that I use for each of those categories in the right order, so that when I walk through my editing, all my tools are right here. It makes it simple, it makes it fluid, and like I said, being able to bounce around more quickly to your folders, to your catalog, and things like that with the new UI just makes it so much better. And the truth is, I don't believe that you need every tool in Luminar to, get a really effective or beautiful edit. There's a lot of great tools. I just don't use a lot of them. I have my favorites, as do you. Maybe they overlap quite a bit, but the bottom line is you just need the tools that you need most of the time at your fingertips, and that's what that's all about. So I'm going to jump through this and show you effectively how I'm doing that. I'm going to usually start right here with contrast and highlights and shadows in Develop Raw. I always shoot raw. I definitely want to do that. This one needs to be a little bit warmer, maybe something like that. And I start with Develop Raw also because you have this optics module, which just fixes some of that distortion for you, which is so useful and I think so helpful. After Develop Raw, I like to go into super contrast because, again, it's all about the light, right? So I'm adjusting the light, and I tend to play around with these a little bit to kind of see what looks good. But as you can see, it does have a pretty nice impact on the light overall, and giving you that contrast based on tonal area or tonal zone is just absolutely huge and important. Now that I've done that, I want to jump down to detail, right? So I'm going to add a little bit of structure. This is usually when masking starts coming into play. I just want to add some structure into that foreground to give it a little bit of crunch, because it is a city. This is Prague, taken a number of years ago. But it gives you the ability to add a little bit of that detail without touching the sky. Quick, easy, effective. And I next want to move into color. For me, brilliance and warmth here in color harmony are pretty much essential. I love those tools. And in fact, all of color harmony is right up there at the top for me. And of course, color balance, which is really kind of the most powerful color tool in all of Luminar, just comes in really clutch. And I use it on just about every image because it gives you so much control over the overall color grade, if you want to use that term, in your image. I'm going to pull that down actually a little bit. Now that I've done that, I'm going to jump into the landscape category. I'm going to give it just a little bit of golden hour, no mask here. And I'm just going to apply that across the entire photo. But the next thing I want to do is really accentuate my subject. Accent AI, I think it's called Accent for a reason, is a great tool for doing that. I like to use a radial gradient where I'll just draw that on top of whatever my subject may be so that I can draw a little bit more focus there. I'm going to condense that a little bit, but I want a nice generous fade. That's what I like about the gradient adjustment masks. And I'm going to give that a little bit of a pop. So they're a little bit brighter, but because of that gradient, it fades, so it's not impacting the area around it too much, and it just kind of gently does fade into the rest of the photo. And then a vignette, right? I just want to put a little bit more emphasis on my subject. I tend to like rounder vignettes and high feathering, and a little bit of inner light goes a long way. I'll drop that on my subject. And you can see with that custom workspace and being able to get to the photo quickly, I'm really able to impact the overall look of my image. Quick, easy, fast, all those kind of things. And I want to jump in and do another photo. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that one started as well. Now here's the thing. You don't have to use every one of your favorites tools on every photo. You don't need to, right? But you can use the ones that are going to make the biggest impact on those three categories: light, detail, and color. Now, if you would like to get a copy of my framework, it's available for free to anyone that's joined my newsletter, which is at the link down below. You also get a 28-page Luminar Neo editing guide. So I'm providing you with tools and instruction at no charge for getting better at editing in Luminar. It's a really powerful product. I absolutely love it, as you know, because I'm here making videos all the time. But there's so much going on. The platform's getting better and better. And I think, as you probably know, the fall upgrade is coming as well. And having gotten a little bit of a sneak preview of some of the features there, I know you're going to be pretty excited about it, just like I am. So again, I'm just kind of playing here, and I'm going to make a few adjustments. I also like to do a little bit of sharpening. And once again, I like to go into optics and fix a little bit of that distortion. I've got a great looking image to start with so far, but again, I'm staying with the light theme. And one of the reasons I adjust light first is because if you start adjusting color and then adjust light, when you come back and adjust light later, you'll often find that it makes the colors look a little bit different. So I try to be careful with that. And light, honestly, is something that you're effectively adjusting throughout the entire edit. In this case, I'm going to skip light depth. It's a great tool. I'm just not using it in this video. And I'm going to go on to structure again. And I'm going to do similar to what I did last time. I want a linear gradient. I want to fade a little bit of a structure adjustment into that foreground. And I'm going to go ahead and get to adjustments, add some positive structure, close that. But I'm going to open it again, and this time I want to use a linear gradient in the sky and add a negative adjustment there. And that's just because I like to smooth out the skies a little bit, makes them a little bit dreamier. I just kind of like that look. So far, we've got a much better looking photo, brighter, easier to see, but this is where the color part comes in. And again, it's light, which I've done, detail, which I've done, and now color. So I'm going to add, once again, a little bit of brilliance and warmth because I love it and it works so well. And as you can see, it really gives a nice pop to that overall look of the photo. And I'm going to experiment a little bit here. I think the highlights, I'm going to give them a little bit of red, and I think I'll do with probably the same with the midtones, maybe a little bit of that, and then go into highlights, or excuse me, shadows. That was the next one. And I want to just give a little bit of blue. One of the things I do there is I kind of play the warm and the cool tones off of each other. So I like to kind of bounce between these and kind of see what I think looks nice. Oops, not shadows, highlights again. Yeah, I think something like that looks pretty nice. I think color harmonies suited me well here. Now, one thing to be aware of, and another reason that I have additional tools here, not just color harmony, is color comes in really handy. And if you look at those greens, to me, they're a little bit too much. So I'm going to go into HSL, and I can adjust those by taking the saturation down, so less intensity in the green color. So that's a negative adjustment. And then luminance also, I can make them a little bit darker. And that's going to give me a little bit better contrast in the foreground, which I think helps keep the eye kind of in that second, the top 2/3 of the photo, for lack of a better term. So I'll often use color harmony and then pop into color, which is why I have it right after, because sometimes color harmony, if I don't mask it, like on this image, it's impacting everything. And sometimes some of the colors are just a little too much. So that's what that is done for. Golden hour, once again, is going to go across the entire photo. And I'm going to go a little more heavy-handed here. I'm doing about a 30, which is a pretty good amount, but it's a nice looking sunset, I think, so far. And then I'm going to come in and do a couple little things here at the end. These last couple of tools, Accent AI it's a light adjustment. It's also a little bit of light, color adjustment and that sort of thing. And like in the last photo, I often use it on my subject at the end. In this case, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to skip it. But sometimes it's fun to just come in and give a little bit across the entire photo, right? Just as a little pop. In fact, maybe I will use it. I'm making it up here, as you can tell, my friends. But that's what's so great about having this structure, this custom workspace, is I see a tool and I may not plan to use it, but then I might try it because it's right there. And I know it's a good tool because I've used it millions of times. And I just, it gave me a nice little pop here. So I'm going to make that up as an addition to this video. But what I was talking about was getting down here to mystical, which for me is very much at the end of my editing. And that is because I consider this a mood adjustment type tool where I just add a little bit of mystical. It creates a little bit of shadow, a little bit of contrast, a little bit of just mood, which is why I like it. And then wrap it up with a vignette, which for me is always the last tool. Doesn't mean I use it on every image, but if I use a vignette, it's always at the very end. And that's just because it does that I mean, does what a vignette does, right? Which is it gives you a little bit darker edges and a little bit brighter center if you take advantage of that. And I'm going to drop that a little bit more low. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more vignette and a little bit more inner light, something like that. And you can see the impact it's had on the photo. It's a pretty substantial adjustment to the light. In fact, I'm going to take that back a little bit. I don't want to go too heavy-handed. So it's a beautiful sunset, and I don't want to overdo it. There you go, before and after. But you can see before and after, nice pop of light, nice pop of detail, nice pop of color. That's the beauty of this editing framework. Again, it's yours for free at the link down below. Check it out. But most importantly, my friends, consider, if you haven't yet, setting up your faves and then rearrange them, which is really what I love about this tiny little thing in Luminar. This tiny little change I made about 6 months ago. It just lets me set up my workspace to get me through any edit. It doesn't matter what kind of photo. I did a cityscape. This is more of a landscape. Even if I edit a portrait, I would use the majority of these tools, depending on the image, of course. But the point is, it's flexible. You can set it up the way you want it. And that's what I had to talk about today, my friends. Hope it gives you some ideas for your editing. Check out my framework and my ebook at the link below. I'll be back soon with more videos. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I'll see you soon. You guys take care. And until next time, adios.